You want water?
Yeah. Obviously, another trip back east. Played the arguably the hottest team in the league, one of the hottest teams in the country, and coming off the Rutgers game was a game of mistakes. It was a game of errors, and I don't. It's not something we've been known for. We've been eliminating the mistakes and the breakdowns. And when you do that on the road, we can talk all we want about the offensive end, the defensive end, the transition. All of that was very poor. By far and away the worst execution on that end of the court we've had all year. And so that's something we've talked a great deal about. And, obviously, I don't care who you are, you miss your alpha, you miss your leader, your guy. I don't care what team you are, and you go on the road and you play a top half team in this league, you're going to lose. And that was a challenge. I thought our kids fought. I thought Kofi had by far and away his best half of play in the first half. His aggressiveness was off the chart. We made some plays that that kept us in it, but way too many mistakes in transition, and that was a ballgame.
With Io out, just how did you note? Did Rutgers change how they defended you guys at all?
No, not at all. I mean, they're one of the handsiest teams. I mean that in terms of steals. We got great looks. We knew exactly where to throw the ball. You start looking at Tev Allen's, Trent's opportunities and threes, and most all of them are wide open, and you've got to make them. And but that gets compounded when you're not scoring. And then the second half, we had 4 or 5 what I call casual turnovers. Allen traveled a couple times. Kofi had the ball taken from him a couple times. And those things can happen on the road to win. So it wasn't there as much anything in their defense with or without Io. We just, we weren't good enough on the defensive side.
Any update on Io? Is he still day-to-day?
Day-to-day.
You say alpha, Brad. Obviously, he's playing at a high level. It seems like there's more to that just in terms of his personality and leadership on the court. Is that really what you mean when you say that?
Yeah, Io doesn't make mistakes. Io's as cerebral a player as there is, and part of being a really good player at this level is understanding what your assignments are, understanding personnel, understanding who to close out on. Io doesn't make those mistakes, and that's one of the things that we missed him more defensively in terms of his intangibles than we did, on the other end. We missed him offensively. We missed the easy baskets he gets in transition. But, and then he sprays it and makes guys better. So, he's just, Io's a very, very dialed-in player. I mean, he's got the scouting report memorized, and he can process it when it happens on the court, and that was something that we didn't do as well.
With the new lineup and rotation that you went to, a little bit smaller, are you happy with what you did on the glass? I know you've been a lead all year on that, but it didn't seem like the personnel really affected that. You were able to go to the glass.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been one of our strongest suits. I think that I was really pleased with Georgie's effort in terms of getting on the glass. In the prior game, he didn't get a rebound, and he had 7 the other night, and was very focused on that end. And again, I'm always critical of Kofi, and I look down, he's got a double-double, and realize he's a freshman, and there's a lot of big bodies out there, but I loved his effort in the first half. Man, he can start duplicating that for 40 minutes. He's one of the best centers in the country.
How far is Lamar Stevens? Seems like he's one of the most physically challenging matchups in the Big Ten with his size and his quickness. What do you try to do against him, and how does he grow to keep on seeing?
Yeah, there's certain guys you can play great defense on, and they make shots. He's one of them, and he does it at an elite level. You've got to take away his easy points. You've got to take away his offensive rebound putbacks. You've got to take away his uncontested threes in transition. You've got to take those things away, and then make him shoot hard shots, knowing he's going to make some. And that's what really good players do. That's what next level guys do. And he's been that for his whole career at Penn State.
Brad, this upcoming game, Fox All Access game, you're going to be mic'd up. Have you ever been mic'd up during a full game before?
No. So that I've not figured out if this is a good thing or not yet. But I think it's great for the fans. I think they get a little insight as to what we go through. I'm probably glad there's a 5-second delay, in some areas. But it'll be a different experience, and you'll find out how much we do on the sidelines in terms of the emotions of the game and the calls and so on and so forth.
Something you were asked to do, or said
Yeah.
this is just happening?
No, Steve Shears with Fox has been a dear friend for a long time, and he asked me back in the summer about this opportunity, and of course it takes two, and Pat had to go along with it, and so it's I think it's an opportunity for that's exciting. It's a little unique. It's different, and excited to be a part of it.
We make it the Bryce Jordan Center in years gone by, a little reputation, be a little sleepy. That's not the case with how Penn State's been playing in their fan base.
I thought it was really good last year when we were there. And then we were in a noon game on Sunday, I think, and it was loud and active, and it's nothing new in this league. I mean, so whether it's it's 19,000 or 10,000, Rutgers was the loudest building we've been in all year, and wasn't even close. And it was exciting and electric, and so it's another game on the road, another full house, another great crowd, and that's what the Big Ten's about.
Do the shooting numbers continue to mystify you, Brad? And I know it's the middle of February, but do you still feel like that can turn around?
Absolutely. I mean, we shoot them every day, and we were looking at some numbers, in our 7-game winning streak, and here in this losing streak, there's only 1 percentage point difference,
Right.
and it's very minimal. But I'm miffed every time Trent has a bad shooting night, because we see those days in practice, very, very common that he doesn't miss.
Right.
And I don't know what's causing them. We shoot a lot of balls, and we got out of it a little bit over break when we were getting in here shooting thousands and thousands of shots every day. But we're a good shooting team. I still believe that.
Is that maybe a testament to just how competitive this league is, that it's just 1% difference between winning and losing, really?
Well, I don't think there's any question about that, and I think it's easy to want to magnify and look at offense and say offense is to blame for this or that. There's a lot of ways to score. That's why I never worry about losing a leading scorer. Finding points is easy. It's not hard. Getting guys to communicate and getting guys to guard and do what they're supposed to do mistake-free on the defensive end, that's the challenge. And where our decline has been on that end, and too many mistakes. And in that winning streak, I mean, we wouldn't make 5 mistakes a game. We had 5 mistakes in the first 5 trips at Rutgers, and that can't happen.
So Andre Curbelo was at the Rutgers game. What do you see from him as a point guard, and how does he compare just to other guys?
We're going to start talking about Dre already. Dre's different, man. He's different. He's got so much worldly experience. He's might be one of the best leaders I've ever seen. He doesn't think about anything but basketball. Being back in the locker room after the game and talking to him, and his vision and what he saw was incredible. He elevates players. I'd actually been in New York recruiting and watched him the night before. He almost has a triple-double. And it wasn't a night that he shot the ball particularly well, but he figures out how to affect the game. And earlier in the week they had played Sierra Canyon, and he was the most dominant player on the court, and scored and did what he had to do. So he's got a maturity about him, a leadership. His IQ maybe as high as anybody I've ever coached. I haven't had him in a practice yet, but I smile when I watch him. I know that.
Besides poor shooting, just what do you think of the way Ted played in some pretty extended minutes on Rutgers?
It was the first time he's had extended minutes. I think there were some positive plays. He ran down and blocked a shot. He got an offensive rebound or two. I think there's, as those minutes continue to settle in, we've got to find consistency on the defensive end. There's no doubt about that. And that's those continue to be areas that he's got to continue to grow in, not just the offensive.
In preparing for Penn State, a team you haven't seen this year, you've played other teams that you've seen twice now, so scouting report's been a little bit different. How does that go into your daily routine of preparing for a team you have not seen this deep into the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think everybody goes through it. I think we're maybe not as familiar with the personnel. The actions, everybody kind of runs something very similar. So at this point of the year, we've seen the action, and it's just amazing. They may have a different name for it, or a different call. And now it's more about trying to pick up their tendencies on it. When you've played a team once, kind of where they're trying to go. We study that more probably than we do anything else. Penn State's absolutely been shooting the cover off of it, and I think they took 31 threes in their last game. And they're making a lot of them, and it's how they beat Michigan State, and they've been without Myron Jones for the last 3 games, and he made 5 in that game. So this is a team that's shooting at a very, very high clip right now.
How has Ted looked in there, and what we don't get to see? You talked a little before about the level of trust just continuing to go up and up with stuff you don't see.
It's earned. It's earned. I don't care who you are. You've got to earn the right to be on the court, and there's a lot that goes into that. And he's keeps working his tail off, and that's growing, and he gets better every day. If he wasn't, I wouldn't play him.
Right.
So his work ethic has been very, very consistent. He continues to get better, and now that you get long stints in games, you've got to be consistent. So, but I've been pleased with what he's been doing.
Much better game for Georgie Saturday versus Tuesday. Was there a mental reset component for him to bring him off the bench? Was there a different work allow him to settle in? Or?
Yeah, that's what the intent was to maybe not be emotionally a little flatter, if that can be the case in his case, to start a game, let him see it, let him get a little feel for it and flow, and he liked that. Now that doesn't mean he's not going to go back in the starting lineup, or we'll continue to monitor that and visit with him about that. But I loved his effort. I thought he was a tremendous positive on Saturday. I thought it was we got to get more shots, and his jump hook was falling, and we've got to continue to find ways to get him the ball down there.
Talking about Jacob and Austin, what's it just been like having those two on the scout team, and what have the flashes kind of looked like of what they can be bringing to the team next year?
Well, there's a lot of days they kick our butt, and they've both had moments where they've been major problems when they were on the scout team, and they've done a great job in that area. I've said this, Jacob playing in a system at Holy Cross where passing and cutting is so important. You see that, and how that fits us. And he's an elite cutter. He's really worked hard at becoming a consistent shooter from the perimeter. We know Hutch is an elite shooter. Kidding the other day, Hutch now has a tricep, and what he's done in Fletch and the weight he's added, and he's so doggone athletic. We get a great read from him every day, not just offensively, where he does some great things, but defensively, his length and gives us a great read trying to guard Io, trying to guard our guards at 6'6", 6'7", with that kind of length and athleticism. And You know, those guys have been phenomenal, and to this point have been working extremely hard and with Fletch and gaining weight and gaining strength, and that's what those guys needed this year.
You mentioned Penn State's been shooting the three really well. When it comes to defending that, do you want to limit them in maybe their number of threes, or would you rather just like maybe is the approach more just closing out a lot? Because I know you limited Purdue a lot on the road.
Well, I think, you know, everybody's system is a little bit different. You know, let's not forget that, you know, Mike Watkins 2 years ago was Defensive Player of the Year and a force, and Stevens is a very good option as well. So, you know, they've got a great inside-outside threat. But you know, we've just got to be sound in our assignments, and when we've been really solid on the defensive end, it hasn't mattered what we've done on the offensive end. We found ways to win, and you know, we've got to get back to that killer aggressive mentality and play mistake free. Guys at this level are going to make some shots, but yeah, they're shooting a lot of them and they're making a lot of them, and that's something we've got to be better at.
So.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.